Have you had a power struggle with your strong-willed child and it's left you hanging? That's the subject of this episode of Parents Leading Change TV. Hi, and a warm welcome to this episode. Power struggles with a strong-willed child. I'm sure you've had them, I've had them, and in fact it happened for me this morning. So it seemed like an awesome topic to bring to this episode of Parents Leading Change TV. I was, this morning, my youngest child, who's my strong-willed child, decided that he was going to do a whole host of other things rather than find his hat and get ready for school. And normally he finds it's fine. This particular morning, we were saying goodbye to my husband. He was leaving to go overseas, and we were running a little bit behind schedule. So our kids take it in turns to be dropped off first because they go to different campuses. And this morning was my youngest child's morning to be dropped off first, and he was not getting dressed, he couldn't find his hat, and we were going round and round in circles. So I decided that I wanted him to understand a natural consequence, and the natural consequence of that was that we needed to switch things round so that my other son wouldn't be late, because we were going to be late anyway, and that he would need to be the later one because we were running behind because he couldn't find his hat. Now he's 7, so there's lots of leeway, and I don't expect him to get it every time. I support him lots, and he is very. I often help him to get ready in the morning or remind him of certain things to do. So there was no shortage of that this morning either. But what happened was he decided that he was wronged, and we should not have switched it around, and he started with his tirade. Well, never drop me off first, I'll never go first then, I'll always go last, always drop me off second, and so this whole tirade started. And so we began our walk to school, and he refused to walk with my son and I. He wanted to walk behind us, so I allowed him that space to walk behind us because he needed that time to calm down. But it continued right after we dropped off my son at one campus, and then we were walking to the other campus, and it continued all the way through there. And for a few minutes, I was thinking about explaining to him what had happened, why when he makes certain choices that there are consequences to that choice, and so and we're just switching things around for today, and we'll resume as normal tomorrow, and so. Nothing that I said appeased him. He had his fingers in his ears. He was refusing to listen. He said, I can't hear you. And so this continued the whole way to school. And in fact, he left to go into school without us having resolved it. And this left me hanging. I was wondering, okay, well, I don't feel particularly good right now. I don't feel particularly good that we haven't had a good nice goodbye. I don't feel particularly good that we've been, that we've had, a challenge and had a bit of an ill mood, if you like. And so what I wanted to share with you was 3 things that I did that really allowed me to relieve myself from the hanging part, because sometimes it's not the right time. It wasn't the right time this morning. The bell would just rang. He'd gone into school, and it wasn't the right time to address it. So, and I haven't seen him yet. But this is how I dealt with it in myself, having been left hanging. The first thing was being able to understand where he's coming from. Now he feels wronged by, and he is processing some emotions. So that was the first thing that I became aware of in my mind, was that he was just processing this situation. The second thing that I became aware of was how sad I felt that the situation got to where it had, and we we hadn't had a proper goodbye. So I really acknowledged that sadness and allowed myself to feel that, because it was sad that we didn't get to have a proper goodbye this morning. And then the third thing was to allow myself to move through my day without it having that burden on me and occupying my thoughts the rest of the day. And it's the first two steps that really allowed me to be able to do that third step. So if you're having a challenge with your strong-willed child, try those steps and let me know how you go. That's it from this episode. I'll speak to you next time. Bye for now.